Hi, this is Marco from Inspector Detector. I'm now getting to do the inspection in a garage. You will notice when you walk in, do yourself a favor, take again pictures of all four corners and of items that are inside the garage, of the floor and up of the ceiling. Make sure you will get what we call settlement cracks on a flooring of a garage. Now these are cracks that can just be filled. Sometimes clients do panic. Structural cracks is when you can take your little pinky and you can put it in. Those are considered movement or structural cracks. So unless you really have those, I normally put it under informational. If I see a scatter of cracks saying just get it caulked and monitor. Do not use the word monitor or recommend in your summary, because if you're going to put in your summary, please put directions. So do not say monitor the crack in your summary. Say get a licensed contractor to evaluate, repair or replace. That way you have covered yourself. When you say recommend, that means they don't have to get a licensed contractor. You want your client to get a licensed contractor for every finding you get. So when you walk into the garage, the first thing I do, just to get some air and to see the garage door works well, again, I whip out my tablet, I open my tablet up, take my camera, I put it on video, and I video record the opening of the garage door to see and hear how it opens. I then test the eye sensors. So I press that it comes down again. I walk up to the unit. I look where the sensors are. Wait for the door to come. Make sure the door goes up. Your eye sensors, you want to make sure that they're not too high and not too low. These ones are set nicely. They need to be between 6 and 10 inches. If they're too high, a child could crawl underneath it and the door could fall on the child. If they're too low, then the child can be sitting with a bicycle over it and the door comes down again. Mainly it's for safety. Some inspectors do test tension on the door, which is basically, I'll do it on this door because it's a relatively new home. All you do is bring it back down again. Just with as little strength as possible, just try and hold it with your fingers. And if you have to pull on it, the sensor is not good. It needs to be reset, but it should just not slide through your fingers. If it's an old door, I do not test it. I have had an old door before where I tested when I just started home inspections and the door fell off the track and I had to pay a lot of money to get it repaired. So old garage doors, do not touch them. Then what I do is I look at the panels on the interior, make sure they look good, all the screws are in. If they're there, we can see there's been a dent over here. I'm not sure what it looks like on the exterior. I always look at the exterior of the garage door when I do the exterior of the home. So I've noticed this problem over here. I take a close-up picture and then I'll go back and take a faraway picture. The reason we do this is there's nothing more frustrating than your phone ringing because the person says to you, you showed me a crack in my foundation, where is it? Now make sure also if you have a identification like here, I would say the lower panel of the garage door, but I will have the pictures to show them because that will show them. But please be careful, your pictures is not a home inspection report. You have to put it in writing that if you remove the pictures, the client can still understand the situation. So yeah, when I say damage to the lower panel of the garage door. The other thing you look at, you'll notice there's a lot of fixtures around here and storage items. Again, take photos. When I got my camera, I take more photos because I take photos of the whole interior of the home. You take these pictures on both sides. Make sure that you write this up as a limitation because you could see termite tubes would have been here and you're not able to visually see them. So if you write up and you have pictures saying unable to see the foundation falls due to stored items, therefore make sure that the items, once they've been removed from the home before closing, please take a walk and look at the condition of the foundation and if any termite tubes are due. Remember, I put in my home inspection report, a home inspection report is not a termite inspection. If we do see it, I do write it up, but please put that limitation in there. It will protect you unless you really, it's in your face and you didn't notice it, but it generally protects you. And I've got a statements there. If they want to have a termite inspection, to please call the office and we can arrange it. Some termite home inspectors get licensed to become certified termite inspectors. You do make more money like it. However, you do carry more liability on it. Other home inspectors get to know a particular termite inspector. They make an arrangement. He charges them a fee and they just add an extra $20 onto that fee, which they pass on to the client. So yeah, everything looks good. It's difficult for me to notice here. There should be a GFCI. Again, there's too many outlets packed over here. There is one GFCI here. This one you can test again by hand. But if you can't find a GFCI, do not turn off and test these outlets if they're GFCI protected. They need to be GFCI protected. The problem is if you turn it off there and it's behind this cabinet, you are going to be moving this guy's tools all out of the way to reset that GFCI and pack everything back, and you could lose a lot of time doing that. So please be visual, and then in your statement write they're unable to test the GFCI in the garage and the exterior due to stored items in the garage. The reason I say exterior, most of the time your exterior outlet is connected to your garage GFCI. So please, when it's stored like this, do not test the exterior outlet for a GFCI or the garage. This one I can test because I can see it. Today also all the codes are different for every state, so please make sure you look at your state and what the codes are. We are not code inspectors. However, there are electrical safety hazards that we need to know. One of the new ones that's just come out now is that the electrical garage motor must be connected to a GFCI. I always just put a statement in there so the client knows. I've often had clients when they move in, they phone me, the garage door motor doesn't work. I say push play on the GFCI and suddenly the garage motor does work. So I just put a statement under informational that the garage motor is connected to a GFCI. Then like over here, this would be the one that it is because I just tested it. I take a distance photograph where I include the motor and the electrical outlet, and then I just write that picture with the statement in my report. If they don't have it, especially on an older home, I like to give better clarification on items. So I wouldn't say garage motor requires GFCI. I would say at the time when the house was built, it wasn't a requirement. However, today, garage motor does need to be connected to a GFCI circuit. Thereby, the buyer understands that it wasn't required. However, for his own concern to protect his motor, he should consider putting one in.